flick. From the ball of my wrist, quarter of raw to a split. Turn a split to a brick. Turn a brick into 10. Then we do it again. Double back, do it again. Until I fall. Dancing in the beauty breaks. Yellow writings on the wall. 29, you come and get up. Running 30 G's. The real snowfall.
Man! We hard on the internet and we stay pushing, man. I'm pushing every fucking second of every day. I ain't gonna give up on nothing in the world, man. It's a lot of things that need to be said to a lot of motherfuckers in the world, man. I sit back and I analyze the shit that goes on in the world, and sometimes I just shake my motherfucking head, man. Cause when you become a certain age in life, don't nothing surprise you, man. Don't nothing surprise you what human beings do, and don't nothing surprise you what the government does, man. I sit back and I watch the news and watch human beings walk around every day, and everything I say come true about motherfucking individuals, man. It's been a long 46 years and a journey for me that I can't even understand, man. I've been through a lot of motherfucking trials and tribulations, but I always overcame every motherfucking thing that's been put in my way in life, man. The only reason that I believe that so many people don't succeed in life the way they feel like they should succeed is because they ain't pushing hard, man. They ain't pushing hard, they ain't pushing, and they ain't keeping the motherfucker in their face, man. There's a lot of individuals in this world that don't deserve to have the platform that they have because they really ain't talking about shit, man. I feel like that if you get on this internet, you have to be able to relate to everyone, no matter what color, what race they are, and connect with them individuals and have conversations with them individuals and let people know that a lot of things going on in the world and it ain't no color about it, man. It ain't got nothing to do with race, that the problem is going on in the United States. Everybody is at war with every motherfucking body, man. I never thought that in 46 years of my life that I would see so many individuals, black, taking so many other individuals, black lives in the black communities, man. I sit back and I watch these folks get on these platforms and they talk about, well, we need to go build a school or we need to go build a center. A lot of people don't understand that we beyond building shit to try to help and save them folks, man. They don't realize that we beyond trying to save motherfuckers that can't be saved. We're at the point in life now where we got to make sure that the people that we love is safe. Because there's a lot of motherfuckers that get up in the morning and go to work and ain't done nothing wrong and bump into some individual in the world and ain't got nothing on their mind but chaos, man. Don't know how to get up and work or go hustle. And then a motherfucker got to deal with the consequences of some motherfucker walking up and trying to contact them. And then you got to make that split decision if you want to live or if you want to die, man. I'm going to tell you this, man. Anytime that an individual put you in a situation where you got to choose your life or theirs, you better choose yours first, man. I ain't going to never, ever feel like that I should be in fear walking out of my household, living my life the normal way that a human being supposed to do, man. I ain't gonna never be in fear to the point where I can't go out in my motherfucking community and do what I please because I'm worried about some young motherfucking in ski mask trying to do something to me, man. It's a lot of things that people are not paying attention to, and the main things is the crime that's going on in these streets and the drugs that are killing motherfuckers in these streets, man. A lot of people don't even understand that this bath time boogie that they got running around, and when I say bath time boogie, I mean something that somebody literally put in a blender and made up in a bathtub to get you motherfuckers high, man. There's a lot of things in life that I would think that I would ever get to see, but I never thought I'd get to the point where every motherfucker on this earth is trying every motherfucking thing that man make up just because they say they want to get high, man. It's a lot of people in this world that get high because they trying to kill the motherfucking traumas and the emotion problems that they got going on in their life, man. I'm gonna tell motherfuckers this, and this is the truth, man. A billion motherfuckers try to find their motherfucking solution inside of a bottle or inside of a sack, and it never works out the way they want it to work out, man. Because when you sitting there trying to mask your motherfucking emotions and the pain you going through by alcohol and drugs. You pick a new addiction and think that that addiction, as long as you got that drug or that alcohol in you, that you can forget the pain and the bills and stuff that's going on in your life. You can't do that, man. It's not gonna stop. There's a lot of things in the world that people don't understand that's always gonna be there no matter what or who you are. It's gonna be taxes, there gonna be bills, and there gonna be problems. There gonna always be problems, but motherfuckers don't understand that if you can't deal with the problem in front of you, don't stress about it. A lot of motherfuckers lose hope on life because they end up in a dark spot in life when they don't realize that sometimes you have to go through a dark place to become better. Sometimes you have to go to the bottom of the barrel and work yourself back up piece by piece by yourself to understand that you are built different than a lot of other motherfuckers on this earth, man. When you go through the type of things in life that I've been through, you realize that ain't nothing gonna kill you, can't stop you, man. You realize that if you go through prison, you go through death, you go through dishonesty, you go through people that thought that they were gonna be loyal to you and turn out to be fake, then you realize that one thing about life is you can't depend on no individual but yourself, man. A lot of people in this world sit back and try to find out things about individuals just so they can have a conversation with another individual. I grew up in a family where I watched so many individuals didn't want now one of their sisters or brothers to be great. And they, any chance they got, they put them folks down instead of trying to help them folks succeed in life. And I understand that every motherfucker is their own individual person and don't nobody owe anyone anything in life. And I keep telling people that, man. Don't nobody owe me nothing, not even a lie. And I don't even owe the motherfucker a lie because I realized a long time ago that if I ain't got something to give a motherfucker, even a conversation that I want to have with an individual, I'm not gonna do it, man. Because I feel like that when people sit back and they want to ask the person about their problem, they really just try to figure out what they can talk about with the next motherfucker, man. And I keep telling people, man, motherfuckers got different relationship with different individuals, and you can honestly say that motherfucker won't do this to me, and that motherfucker won't do that to me, but that motherfucker will do that to me, man. People in this world don't understand that there's a lot of things in this world that I would do for a lot of individuals that I have, man. You know what I mean? And I didn't do it out of the because I felt like I wanted a motherfucker to give me something, or a motherfucker to be loyal to me. I did it at the kindness of my heart because a motherfucker told me a long time ago, if you give somebody something, I do something for somebody, I give somebody some words of wisdom, you did it from the bottom of your heart, you can't go wrong in life, man. You can't go wrong in life if you're doing something that ain't got no hidden motives behind your situation, man. That's real shit. I tell people all day, man, I'm gonna keep pushing every second of every day because I know I'm supposed to be better than what I've been in life, man. You know, I take every opportunity I get to get on the internet and have these conversations about life and about the events that's going on around the world. Because a lot of people sit back and they want to give up, man. I'm gonna tell a motherfucker you can't give up on your dream no matter what your dream is. And sometimes you gotta eliminate individuals out of your life for you to understand what life really is, man. A lot of people feel like that if they ain't got a safety net, individuals in their life to help them or save them, that they feel like they gonna drown. When every motherfucker came in this world on their own, they gonna leave on their own, man. Ain't no motherfucker going in the ground with another motherfucker when they go in the ground. You know what I mean? Man, I'm living my best motherfucking life, man. I keep telling people, man, as long as I'm at peace, I'm living my best motherfucking life. It don't take me to have a whole bunch of money and a whole bunch of this and a whole bunch of that. As long as my kids and my family's safe and I'm alive, I'm feeling good about my life, man. I'm feeling great. You feel me? Anything else is gonna come the way it's supposed to come in life because God got a plan for everybody, man. Some people plan take longer than others, and some people plan come together like that, man. But when I sit back and I watch a lot of these entertainers, you gotta watch comedians like Mike Epps. Mike Epps came from doing comedy to doing movies to doing all type of shit. You know what I mean? These are individuals that came from before the internet. You talking about motherfuckers like Steve Harvey. These folks used to get up every fucking day. Kevin Hart. These folks went out before the internet and went out to clubs and made pennies on the dollar just to get their face and their name out there to the world, man. So ain't no way that if I'm an individual that say I'm great at this internet shit, having conversations, political conversations, conversation about the hood, conversations about life, then I say I've been through every step of what I'm talking about, man. I'm not gonna have a conversation about something that I ain't been through or something that I've never had in life. That's why I sit back and I wonder why a lot of these individuals had these conversations about people that they've never even been to the same stature of life they have in life. You got motherfuckers having conversations with rappers that ain't never had a successful career as a rapper and ain't never had a successful life because they've been in and out of prison all their life, but you ask these same people about other people's lives. How can you ask a person an opinion about something that they can't even do with themselves in life, man? I don't understand that, man. You know what I mean, man? I sit back, man. I thank God every day I wake up, man. Alive and free is always my saying, man. Anything else come my way, I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make it happen. I ain't gonna sit around and wait for no motherfucking magic genie, something to fall out of the sky in my motherfucking hand, man. I'm gonna make sure that I get up every motherfucking second of every day, and I'm gonna go get it, man. A real motherfucking hustler don't never depend on a damn motherfucker to get him nothing. A person that ever hustled in this world or been a survivor of the streets ain't sitting back waiting on no motherfucker to get them nothing because they know how to survive, man. Any motherfucker that come from motherfucking poverty, waking up every day as a child, not knowing if they ain't gonna eat and come up with a way to survive, ain't no way as an adult I ain't gonna get the same motherfucking tactic in the force, man. I ain't gonna never sit back and I ain't gonna never starve, man. I ain't gonna never starve. That's what people, man, I never understand how a person say that they want more out of life, but then they sit around in the same situation that they were the day before, man. I tell a motherfucker like this, man, if you want more in life, get up, put some clothes on, go out there in the world and get it, man. The only thing that's gonna come to a motherfucker laying in a bed or laying around waiting on somebody to bring them something ain't nothing but misery, man. Misery. Any person that sit back and wait on anybody to give them something that they don't deserve or they didn't earn, it got strings attached and it's called misery, man. You never want a person in this world to feel like you owe them anything, period. I always been the type of individual, man, that it took me a long time, and people say it humbles you. It makes you who you are when you work hard for what you get, man. I know that I ain't the first person or the last person that don't went through problems in life to the point where you feel like this shit is over. I've been there 4, 5 times in life, and I felt like it was over. I felt like before life even began, I felt like it was over because I was a child going through shit that I didn't understand, man. And then when I ended up going to prison and I couldn't comprehend the thing that was going on with me in prison and why family members wasn't doing this and why friends wasn't doing that, it took me until I completed my motherfucking whole sentence and walked out of prison free for me to realize that didn't no motherfucker owe me nothing, man. Didn't no motherfucker owe me nothing. They didn't owe me no loyalty, man. I sit back and I used to be so mad because it was times I was sitting in the penitentiary and didn't even have no motherfucking food and had to go to that motherfucking chow hall and didn't have no motherfucker to call on the street, man. No bitch, no family members, no nothing, man. That's why I sit back and I don't depend on people, man, because when you at your downest and at the point of in your life where you feel like that you need help and you can't ask people that you say you love for that help, then you don't need to be, you know what I mean? You don't need to do that, man. You know what I mean? I got to that point a long time ago, man, that I humbled myself and said anything that I go through in life, I'm gonna go through it on my own, man. If I gotta climb through the mud and grind me and get the things that I need to make sure that I'm alive and I'm safe, I'm gonna do it, man. I told myself a long time ago, man, I never put my faith in man because man will let you down, man. And sometimes when people put their faith in other individuals, they bank on certain situations, they waste time that they could have been doing other things to solve a problem that they was having in their life. They realized that they wasted too much time waiting on somebody to call them or say something to them to help them when they should have been spending every second of that other day working on a plan to get themselves out of them situations, man. Every day I wake up, man, I'm thinking of a plan to keep myself alive and keep myself free, man. I don't make fool sad decisions in life anymore. Because I know one fucked up mistake could end the motherfucker up in the penitentiary for the rest of their life. I know that. You just got to know, man. I'm going hard, man. I see that sky out there, man. As soon as I see that sun come up, the first thing come to my mind is this is another day that I'm finna get on that motherfucking grind, man. This is another day that I'm gonna show the world that I'm the best, hardest motherfucker on this internet when it comes to what I'm talking about, man. I'm not saying I'm the best motherfucker on this internet, but I'm the rawest, uncut motherfucker on this internet. I don't hold no punches, man. Anything that someone do on this word, I feel like that a motherfucker need to expose it. You know, and I talk about all type of different situations. I talk about crime. I talk about drugs. I talk about solutions, man. I talk about how the laws are changing every fucking second of every day, not to penalize black folks, but to penalize motherfuckers that don't understand what they dealing with in their hand, man. You know, every motherfucker that's out there in the streets need to understand one thing, that it's consequences behind everything that you got in your pocket, man. Consequences. And a lot of motherfuckers in this world ain't willing to eat them consequences. That's the reason they turn around and tell on another motherfucker when they get back, man. I tell you what, if I go to another motherfucking McDonald's and walk in that motherfucker, them folks try to give me one motherfucking syrup and I got a double stack of pancakes, I'm gonna scream. I don't know who the fuck came up with the rules of how many fluids supposed to be on the pancake. I like my pancake to be drizzled. I like my pancake to have that motherfucking drench. You know what I mean? I love this shit, man. I love the world, man. I love everybody, man. I just don't I just don't tolerate bullshit, man. I don't tolerate bullshit. You know what I mean? And a lot of bullshit going on in this world that people ain't paying attention to, man. I watch so many parents and children are so motherfucking alike to the point where they children end up being nothing ass motherfuckers in the world, man. There's a lot of people in this world when they children get picked up for carjacking and robbery at 12, 13 years old, them folk need to go knock on the mom and daddy door and take them folks to jail too, man. I watched a news story about these states, and these states be talking about where the crime rate is down and the murder rate is down, and they be holding statistics from last year at the same time where there might have been 500 people that lost their life, and they ain't got nothing to say. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. What's going on? Nah, I ain't got nothing like that, man. All right. Oh, Lord. Tell you. You got people that get on here every day and the only thing they doing is searching for these rappers and shit and see what they done last night fucked up. Oh, Lord have mercy. I ain't with that shit, man. That's that trolling shit. That's when motherfuckers out there literally trolling. I call that dick riding, trying to make it to the top, man. For real. There's some niggas out here wake up with dick on their breath. Cause they been chasing men all day online. I'll tell you this, man. I was watching something this morning where President Trump, he responded to Charlamagne the God on Breakfast Club about, his political beliefs and shit. And I was just waiting for Trump to holler out, man, why the fuck y'all got this child predator talking this shit, man? Cause we all know Charlamagne pled guilty, and I be tripping off motherfuckers. Motherfuckers be in my motherfucking DM and shit talking about, you gonna be sued, Charlamagne was found not guilty. Y'all folks that ain't even old enough to realize the dude was not found not guilty of the motherfucking crime he was convicted of, man. Dude pled guilty to the involvement of a rape of a child, man. He pled guilty to a lesser crime. Charlamagne was not found guilty because he didn't get Jessica Reed no alcohol. Charlamagne the guy wasn't found not motherfucking guilty because them folks said he didn't do nothing. Charlamagne when that motherfucker signed his name Leonard on that motherfucking agreement saying that he gonna plead guilty to a lesser charge of going to pick up a child from her mama house, knowing that she was 15 years old and giving her alcohol and drugs, knowing that they were trying to fuck that child, man. For real. I sit back and I watch these, and people always say that the media platforms like iHeartRadio and CNN, you got everybody, every platform got what you would call they house nigga, man. The motherfucker that they want to be show ponies and talk about the things that people don't want to talk about. And there's one thing that I learned about the Breakfast Club. Them motherfuckers will talk about every motherfucker, but they won't talk about the problem they have in themselves, man. And then what I don't understand is how all hard media still letting these folks push on the Breakfast Club these different promotions and shit, knowing that the DJ Envy Boy is under investigation by the federal government for running the Ponzi scheme, man. And them folks in the federal documents, them folks said that DJ Envy used the Breakfast Club and iHeart Media to promote the scam that a lot of people lost their houses and their money from, man. I tell motherfuckers every day, man, sometimes the proof is in the pudding, and the pudding is pouring over in front of every motherfucker. You see it, man. These big companies like iHeartRadio, they don't give a fuck because they can be sued. And as soon as they be sued, they gonna cut them folks off like Disney and ESPN did, like Shannon Sharpe, man. These platforms like the Breakfast Club is way past due for being canceled or being took off the air because it's not a culture show. It's a show that brings nothing but nothing ass motherfuckers on, and they confront people about their business, but ain't nobody confronting them about their business. Put me in front of Charlamagne, the first word gonna come out of my mouth is, you's a rapist, man. The first word that's gonna come out of my mouth if I'm sitting in front of Charlamagne and you talking about every other motherfucking thing, I'm gonna tell you, let's talk about Jessica Reed. Let's talk about your plea agreement you made and you end up with 3 years probation. Why did you do that? If you were so innocent from the thing that Jessica Reed said you did and you said you didn't do nothing wrong that hot summer night, then why did you plead guilty? Why did you plead guilty? Ain't no motherfucker running around pleading guilty to shit that they ain't do, man. And then Charlamagne try to establish that he's a highly educated individual. So if you're so highly educated, that means that you made the decision that you should have made back then because you was wrong. And a lot of these folks, they ain't speaking on that shit, man. It's like some people scared to talk, and some of these motherfuckers scared to talk because they working for Charlamagne. They up under the bullshit ass black marketing company where they went out there and got a whole bunch of bullshit ass podcasters. Some of them hard. I ain't gonna take that from them because some of them platforms was already a great platform before they signed with the Rapers of the Year Charlamagne. But I would never want in my life want to be associated with an individual that's been involved in anything to do with a child being raped, man. You know what I mean? And a lot of motherfuckers don't understand that, man. When people speak about shit, they make sure they ain't got no skeletons in their closet where a motherfucker can't talk about them, man. And the Breakfast Club got so many skeletons in every individual one of their closets that it don't make no sense. All the way from Jesse Larris being a motherfucking fraudster, been to jail for being a fraudster. You got DJ Envy still being a fraudster. It's like them folks say, we're going to rap this shit out until somebody come arrest everybody on the Breakfast Club at the same time, man. You know what I mean? That's what I'm getting to the point to believe that them folks think that they unfucking touchable, man. You know what I mean? But it's gonna get to one of the points where them folks gonna pop up at the Breakfast Club and they gonna tell them folks it's a federal raid and we're gonna see how they talking about this shit, man. You know what I mean? Cause they need to go up in iHeartRadio and arrest every motherfucker, even all the way to the executive, and charge them folk with accessory. With all the crime that them motherfuckers doing on them platforms in the name of iHeartRadio. For real. That's real shit, man. I'm telling you, most motherfuckers like Shannon Sharp sitting back right now, he thinking about all the things. You can believe when he signed that motherfucking that agreement, that settlement for them $25 million, giving it to that individual, that female, that she said he raped her. Dude knew that his career as a podcaster was over with, man. Dude, Shannon Sharp knew a lot of things for the change because you got a company like Disney that promotes children as they main motherfucking moneymaker, man. Them folk can't have a motherfucking sponsor and a person that's accused and acknowledged that he's a rapist, man. When Shannon Sharp signed that agreement, he acknowledged that the things that that woman said was true. He did. And that's what people don't understand. I ain't gonna never give nobody nothing if something ain't true, man. I ain't gonna give no motherfucker no money for free if it ain't true. I ain't gonna get no motherfucker, and that's what Shannon Sharp did, and that's why Disney separated themselves from Shannon Sharp. That's why ESPN separated themselves from Shannon Sharp. Because in the business world, if an individual pays somebody when they sue them for something like rape, they acknowledge that they admitted to they doing it, man. They admitted it. And in Shannon Sharp's situation, his was kind of, he didn't know what that girl had, so he didn't want to play no reindeer games and shame his family no farther than he already had, man. Because when him and that girl was going tit for tat and they was trying to show each other that they wasn't playing and they was talking about, because see, Shannon Sharp had already offered the girl $10 million from the beginning and she turned it down. Because she felt like the evidence that she had against Shannon Sharp could do more damage than $10 million was worth. You know what I mean? That's why I say, when you got these folks that sit down and they call themselves podcasters, reporters, or people that interview people about things in life, then it's one thing about it. You don't want to have no secrets in your life when you do it, man. Because them folks sit down on a platform, they interview these people and they talking about these people and other people's lives. And you can believe that they already got cue cards. They got cards of questions that they going to ask them people and questions they can't ask them people. But if you ever get a chance to sit in front of a person and you know they done some fucked up shit and you know shit just ain't going to change, and what you do? You confront that person, man. You confront them. You confront them. You know, that's what I tell people, man. You gotta make sure your house is clean before you go out there and try to kick up some dust in somebody else's house, man. You got to, man. You can't go out there talking about other motherfuckers and you got cracks in your motherfucking walls leaking secrets out, man. You can't. That's why I say people on this motherfucker, man, they don't understand that there's a lot of things that people build for and a lot of things people ain't built for, man. And a lot of these motherfuckers, man, they get on this internet and off the wop, they try to become the gang member that used to be a gang member or active old ass gang member talking on a platform. I ain't never understood how a person could glorify watching their own friends and family die over and over, man. And encourage other people to become a gang member is encouraging a person to want to watch other people die that you love and you care about. I ain't gonna never ever talk bad about another platform because if you pushing what you pushing and people listening to it, do what you do, man. But I don't believe in having no old up, washed up ass motherfucker that wouldn't even be relevant unless you were sitting there talking to that person, man. A lot of people ain't even nobody but somebody in their city, and some motherfuckers ain't even nobody in their city. Nobody. I'm talking about you got motherfuckers that run around in their city and used to be drug dealers. They used to be big dope men. They used to have money back in the day, and now them folks ain't got a pot to piss in and a window to throw out. But these folks bring these folks on these platforms and talk to them like, hey, how are you doing? What's this? What? Because somebody made them go viral, man. Viral. Viral. Viral is the word, man. A lot of motherfuckers go viral and they have these conversations with motherfuckers. Yeah, of course. Anytime that a motherfucker, and see, I tell you this, Shannon Sharp made a post on X the other day talking about that Tony Bugsby is targeting none but black men. Tony Bugsby is a lawyer, man. Dude is targeting stupid motherfucker that made mistakes and got a bag that he can capitalize on. That's what life is, man. You know what I mean? And he wanna you can't down him, you can't fault a motherfucker for doing their job, man. You know what I mean? And when I say doing their job, I mean a motherfucker that if you know a motherfucker come knock on your door and tell you that they got a motherfucking lawsuit and you a lawyer and that motherfucker say Shannon Sharp did this and Shannon Sharp did that and they got receipts. See, Tony Bugsby is one of the people that he's a lawyer and ain't there a lawyer gonna win every situation. Every lawyer ain't gonna have the evidence that they need, but sometimes they can throw that motherfucking boot game out there and them rich motherfuckers will pay before they even know what they got going on. But see, with Shannon Sharp, his situation was so dry cut that this girl right here was already setting him up from the word go. She had started recording him video, audio, and he didn't know that, man. I'm talking about he thought that his money and his dick was so good that this girl was so dumb that she wasn't already plotting against him from the beginning. Anytime you got a 50-something-year-old ugly motherfucker like Shannon Sharp fucking with a 19-year-old bad bitch, then he should already been waiting for the trap to happen, man. But now he thought he was some kind of gorilla pimp or something, and his conversation was so motherfucking fire that this woman wasn't planning on her future, man. There's a lot of females out there right now plotting and planning their future with a lot of rich motherfuckers, man. You know what I mean? Because like Shannon Sharp, he was the first time when the lawsuit came out, he went online with his little blue suit on talking about, these are false allegations. I've never did anything to this woman. And it's going to be proven in court. But he didn't get on there and say, I offered her $10 million from the beginning. He didn't get on that motherfucker and say, I offered this woman $10 million because she said I raped her. And then that motherfucker said, it's all lies. And then the next day, that girl and Tony Bugsby dropped that motherfucker audio tape where he talking about, bitch, I'm going to choke you, ho. And laugh and talking about, you like it. And she telling that fool, I don't like that, Shannon. I don't want you to choke me, Shannon. And then when that motherfucker started hearing that, shit, Shannon Sharp took his motherfucking losses, man. That trick teared his motherfucking ass up and said, give her what she want. I just ain't giving her 50 million, but I give her 25. And by him giving her that 25, man, I'm gonna tell you this, he fell in that motherfucking category, what you call the Diddy category. When folks said that Diddy was running around out there raping folks and doing all type of shit to motherfuckers, man, you know what they said? It's lies, man. But when Diddy said that lawsuit with Cassidy, the federal government came and snatched his ass up and charged that motherfucker with rape and assaults on his girlfriend and promoting prostitution. You can believe Shannon Sharp on flew that little young bitch across the states in different situations. So he in one of them situations that I guarantee you that somebody in the federal government looking at Shannon Sharp and trying to figure out if they can charge him with a motherfucking crime, man. That's what motherfuckers don't understand. It used to be back in the day when motherfuckers used to pay a motherfucker if they raped them or beat them up or done something to them, they pay them and they be dead on that. They all came up with laws where motherfuckers can still get paid after they go into jail, man. These folks, you know what I mean? You got to think like Cassidy got all that money and she still got on the stand and testify against Diddy. After you give a motherfucker their money and they got their money in their bank account, they don't got to do nothing. Motherfuckers say, oh, they signed a non-disclosure. That non-disclosure just say that you owe me my money back if you tell the truth. But if you already got that money and took that money out that bank account, them folks can't get that money back. Yeah. You know, and a lot of people don't understand a lot of companies are the parent companies of a lot of little companies, man. Parent companies. A lot of these little bitty companies are owned by giant conglomerate companies, man. And when them folks find out that you got anything to do with rape of a child or rape of an individual, or your ass ain't finna get no sponsorship no more, man. You know what I mean? That's why I can't understand how All Heart Radio is still got all these individuals, especially Charlamagne the God, on their platform when he was a person that pled guilty to a crime that was involving a rape of a child. How can you justify that, man? How can a company donate to women's rights and donate money to children that victims of rapists have a rapist on their platform? I don't understand it. And then our radio said they partnered with Charlamagne to come up with a black-owned podcast type situation. Well, they gave this motherfucker the right to go out there in the world and pick what podcast is hot. But what he did is he went out there and picked whatever podcast that wasn't talking about the shit that he do, man. There's a lot of motherfuckers out here on these podcasts that get these deals and these folks get them deals so they can't talk about them, man. I ain't gonna never have a deal where I can't express my feelings and my opinion about every situation. You know, I don't give a fuck if I'm sponsored by Disney and Mickey Mouse get caught with his motherfucking Peter and Minnie Mouse, and Minnie Mouse got a little girl, I'm gonna tell the world about it, man. That's what people don't understand. A lot of motherfuckers sit back and they like, well, why are you talking about the black man and why are you talking about this? You should talk about everything, man. Yeah, see, that's what it's about, man. It's crazy that iHeartRadio and a lot of these folk care more about clicks and views than they care about motherfucking children and people, man. Human beings. Because I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna keep it real, man. And this is the only thing that I can come up with. If Charlamagne the God would have been accused and pled guilty to a charge and it'd have been a little white girl, Charlamagne wouldn't be on the radio no more, man. But only because it was a black girl and she was a poor black girl, that's the only reason ain't nobody saying nothing. If Charlamagne was accused and pled guilty to an involvement of a rape of a child and she would have been a little white girl, I don't care if it was 20 years ago, them folks would have been on taking him off the air. Because I know this, see, Bill Cosby, the American Dad, them folks brought him down because he was dealing with white women, man. They didn't bring Bill Cosby down because he was dealing with black women. They brought him down because he did something to some white women. They said Bill Cosby dropped a couple pills in a couple white women drinks and had fun with them folks, even though they was participating, but they brought him down. And then Shannon Sharp the same way. Shannon Sharp, the only reason that it became a big situation is because it was a white girl. And they look at Shannon Sharp like this big mandingo nigga out here being what they always thought we was, aggressive black men. And then when you feel like they're a motherfucking aggressive black man with money, they say that you think you better than the white man. That's what they think. You know what I mean? And a lot of times that's what they tell them black men. They like, man, you might got money like white men, but you ain't in the same category as white men. And a lot of people, you know, I be doing posts and shit, and it be so crazy because we be talking about rape now. And these folks be talking about, why you want to talk about the black man? You should talk about every motherfucker that raped somebody, man. You should talk about any motherfucker that had any dealing with children, even if it's the motherfucking president of the United States, man. You should never let a motherfucker think that what they done was right, because if they think what the next motherfucker done was right, somebody else gonna follow in their footsteps and do the same thing. You know what I mean? And motherfuckers be like, well, and they'll use the same excuse that a lot of black people use every day. Well, the white man did this and the white man did that, and they let him get away with it. People need to quit comparing themselves to other individuals when they do sick ass shit, man. Every last one of them need to be punished. Every last one of them motherfuckers need to be punished. Any motherfucker that go out there in this world and rape somebody by giving them some drugs or giving them some alcohol and having a way with them, man, them folks supposed to do something to them folks, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? That be the problem when they see that be the problem with black people. Black people get money, and then they feel like that they supposed to act the same way that the white people act when they got money. And a lot of black folks got a lot of sick ass shit already in their mind, and they just use the money to fulfill their sick ass needs, man. And you got a lot of people in this world that feel like that if they got money, they can do what the fuck they want and just solve their problem with money, man. And that ain't always gonna happen. Cause it's gonna be some motherfucker that take the money and send your ass to jail. For real. You just gotta know about it. Life is like one of them situations, man, you can't control. You just gotta hold on and let that motherfucker go. You can't sit back and wait on another motherfucking thing to go, man. I push hard every day because I know I'm great. I'm destined to be greater. A lot of people don't understand, man, that when you wake up in the morning, man, all things should be on your mind is making yourself better. Motivate yourself. Don't try to ask the motherfucker to motivate you. Don't sit back and wait on motherfuckers. Yeah, let him play guilty. See, that's one thing people don't understand. Leonard Charlemagne, dude pled guilty to an involvement of a rape of a child, man. He pled guilty. And people like, well, he didn't rape the girl, the DNA showed that he didn't. Man, we talking about 20-something years ago when DNA was just not coming about, man. A lot of motherfuckers don't understand DNA testing and shit like that. This shit ain't always been around for hundreds of years. That shit been around for about 20 years. And they never said that this man didn't do it, and he never said he didn't do it. By him pleading guilty to a lesser charge when they had him charged with rape, that means that man felt that they had enough evidence to take his ass to trial and find him guilty. That's the only reason people plead guilty to a lesser charge is because them folks showed them that they got enough evidence to prove that them motherfuckers, and people want to holler out where he was a black man and he had, man, Charlamagne was a motherfucking college DJ. Dude wasn't nobody at the time. Dude didn't have no motherfucking money. Dude wasn't nothing but a young sick motherfucker, 21, 22 years old, running around giving bitches Spanish fly, getting them drunk funking them, man. And see, Charlamagne the God, he went on a motherfucking interview and admitted to it, man. That man went on an interview and admitted that he got another motherfucking female high and drunk on Spanish fly. Said he put the Spanish fly in the E&J and she didn't know it. And she passed out and he had his way with her, man. And then that motherfucker said the same motherfucking scenario that happened to Jessica Reed was the same situation. He talking about his homeboys and was like, man, let me in. I want some of that pussy, man. Let me in, let me in. And he said at that time, he said, no, man, no, man. No, man. He said that he told his friends now. So anytime that you hang, and this is supposed to be his friends in South Carolina. So South Carolina must be full of a whole bunch of sexual predators, man. Because ain't no way something happened 20-some years ago where it was a girl that was raped by a group of motherfuckers in the same scenario. And then damn near 10, 15 years after that, you got Charlamagne admitting that he was in the same situation with another grown woman where his friends wanted to rape this woman because they knew she was intoxicated and she was incapacitated, man. He admitted that. That's why I'm like, how the fuck is iHeartRadio don't remember seeing that interview where this trick was on a podcast and he admitted to giving a person some drugs and killing them, man. I mean, giving them drugs and raping them. And then that motherfucker said the next morning when the girl woke up, he sat there and had a conversation with the girl and asked the girl, did she remember anything? She said, no. He said he told the girl that him and her had sex. And then the podcast interviewed the Charlamagne the God boy because he never thought the words were going to come back to haunt him. Dude asked him, he said, man, was she drunk? Yeah, she was drunk. And he laughed like that shit was cool. He said, did she consent to the sex? He said, oh, she was kind of wasted. So that let you know that she was incapacitated. She didn't know that that man was putting his dick in her. She didn't know none of that was going on. But that motherfucker hollered out, oh, the next morning I told her what had happened. I told her that I gave me and her both some Spanish fly. And she said, oh, I'm glad it was you and wasn't nobody else. That girl don't even, because see, Charlamagne said his homeboys and was outside talking about, man, let me in, let me get my turn, let me get my turn, let me get my turn, let me get my turn. That's what Charlamagne said, that his homeboys was outside the room where Galen had passed out on the Spanish fly that he gave her in the E&J knocking her out. His homeboys out there like a pack of wolves trying to get in the room so they can rape this woman, man, so they can fuck her, knowing that she ain't gonna know in the morning who fucked her. And then that's the thing that happened when she woke up that next morning, even though he said he told her he was the only one that fucked her. She don't know that if there's a tape out there of every last one of them folk that was in that room that he said was begging. He said his homeboys was begging to come in there and rape that woman, man. And he was like, nah, what type of motherfucker got friends that want to rape a motherfucker? I ain't gonna have no motherfucking friend that would even have that thought in their mind that if a woman around me that's supposed to be my friend is incapacitated, that it's rape time. That's some sick shit. And that's a pattern of motherfuckers, man. You can believe Leonard and all his friends are a rape crew, man. Because Jessica Reed told y'all folks 20-some years ago this motherfucker did the same MO to her. The exact same MO, and he said he didn't, but he pled guilty. But then you had this same motherfucker come out and tell the world that he did the same thing to another woman. He tell you he did it to another woman. That's like admitting that this is my MO. I get him drunk and I rape him. And that's what he did. He gave the word, the proof that they've been asking for when he did that podcast. And he admitted that he put something in somebody's drink that didn't know it was in their drink with the intention of fucking them. And he did. Did he tell you that his friends, the same situation Jessica Reed, he tell his friends outside, talking about, let me in. It's my turn. Let me in. Let me in. Let me in. But this time that motherfucker Charlamagne said, he said, nah, I didn't let them in the room. But you can believe that that girl got fucked by more than one motherfucker that night, man, because she didn't remember. Anytime that you give somebody a drug that they can't even remember what happened the next day, then that person don't know what happened, man. That motherfucker don't know if a motherfucker walked in there and put a motherfucking mirror and let the mirror fuck him, man. They don't know that, man. You know what I mean? That's why I say, man, I'm gonna keep on talking and I'm gonna keep presenting the evidence to the world. And eventually, iHeartRadio gonna see that shit. And they gonna snatch that trick out because I don't understand how they still got him on there when he admitted that he's a rapist, man. He admitted he raped somebody before, man. He admitted it, man. That's the crazy thing. How you go in there and give them folks the same MO, like they say MO, like the police say, it's your MO. This is what you do. And he did it again. And you can believe Charlamagne, because he was like, well, it ain't no drug of Spanish fly. You can buy a Spanish fly out of the store. Anything that you use to incapacitate a person to where they don't know what's going on, that's rape, man. That's rape, Charlamagne. That's rape, Charlamagne. Anytime that a motherfucker can't tell you out their mouth that they consent to what you doing to them, they don't consent of you giving consent. This is what people don't understand. That same people don't understand when it comes to drugs. Some people's body react different to certain drugs than other people, man. He could have gave that girl that Spanish fly, and that girl been allergic to something that's in the ingredients in the Spanish fly, and she OD'd and died. Then they would have charged Charlamagne with murder. Because you cannot give an individual a drug without their consent. Because if a person take a drug with then they knowing they taking something that might harm them, then that's on their individual. But if you give a person a drug without their consent, you are out their knowledge, you putting that person's health in jeopardy, man. That's why a lot of people out here dying right now, fucking with that fentanyl and fucking with all these other drugs, because their body is reacting to chemicals that they don't know is in them drugs, man. They don't know. You know, and I want a motherfucker, man, I tell you, I sit back and any motherfucker to do something to a child or a woman or anyone, they need to be punished, man. They don't need to be rewarded. How the fuck you reward a rapist, man? And it's crazy that a motherfucker tell you they're a rapist and you just look at them like, oh, okay. Charlamagne did an interview that was the dumbest thing and the realest thing because God wanted him to be exposed. And that motherfucker went on that platform and he told the truth, man. He told that he drugged and raped women, man. He said it. That man admitted he drugged and raped a woman and laughed about it and talking about it wasn't a Spanish fly. I don't understand nobody talking about that, man. Every motherfucker in the world that ever seen, see the thing about these motherfucking podcasts, a lot of these motherfuckers don't understand that every word that come out your mouth can and will be used against you in the court of law one day, man. Them folk can take that motherfucking tape where he admitted to drugging that woman with that Spanish fly and having sex with her, and he acknowledged that she did not know that she was having sex with her, and he acknowledged that next morning that he woke up and told her that he had fucked her. They can use that tape and go get Charlamagne right now and charge him with rape. They can use that interview that Charlamagne did and laughed in that motherfucking interview about giving that girl that Spanish fly because the interview dude was so cold. He asked that dumb motherfucker this one question, that motherfucker that think he's smarter than every motherfucker. He said, was she alive? Was she consensual? And that motherfucker said, nah, she didn't know Spanish Fly wasn't in there. He said, when you was having sex with that woman, was she talking to you? He said, nah, she was out of it. She was wasted. Meaning that woman that woman didn't know if she was flying in a motherfucking spaceship or riding on a train. And he was fucking her, and I'm pretty sure a couple of his friends came in there and stuck their little dick in her too, man. I guarantee you. I guarantee you, man, because that's their MO, they rape in packs, man. They rape in packs. And that's what Charlamagne been known to do, a rapist in packs. Everybody want to think that little girl Jessica Reed was lying all them years. That little girl wasn't lying, man. Because you had to hear the words come out of his own mouth. The man admitted to being a rapist and laughed about it. Laughed about it. So I'm looking at IR Radio and they executives and they CEOs, and I'm like, how the fuck are y'all condoning a motherfucker that's a rapist? How y'all condoning that? We ain't talking about no allegations. We talking about words that came out of his own mouth, where he admitted that he went out there, got some Spanish Fly from a store, took that Spanish Fly, put it in some E&J, and served it to this woman as a cocktail, knowing they were gonna knock her down so he could fuck her. Man. There's a lot of these sick motherfuckers that don't deserve to be having a voice speaking about anything, man. Because you can believe Shannon Sharpe regretting everything that he ever said about another motherfucker and the problem that they have in a relationship. Because that's one thing that Karma gonna do. Karma made them motherfuckers come back and eat them words, man. They did. Karma made him come back and eat the words of always talking about other people's business and laughing and joking about it. And Karma came back and said, man, you ain't got your cards to claim enough to be talking about people, bro. You know what I mean? You can believe when them folks offered Shannon Sharpe that $100 million, Shannon Sharpe started thinking about everything, and he went out there trying to clean up the motherfucking problem that he had before it was exposed. But when it was exposed, it was too late. It was too late. And I'm pretty sure Shannon Sharpe got millions. He played in the NFL for damn near 10, 15 years. And he had a successful career. So he got money. But you can believe Shannon Sharpe sitting back right now thinking that he hoping they don't come and do him like they did it. He hoping that they don't use them same motherfucking words and them same motherfucking tapes that was going to be used to get that motherfucking $25 million in court, man, to prosecute him for rape. Because that woman said Shannon Sharpe raped her, man. You know what I mean? And that man gave her that money. And when he gave her that money, he pretty much admitted that he did the shit that she said. And he don't want nobody else to hear it that ain't heard it already. Because you can believe when Shannon Sharpe lawyers sit down with Tony Bugby, they did negotiation, meaning they sit down and Tony Bugby showed the shit to him that he was going to present in court. And Shannon Sharpe sit back and said, oh, no, man. I can't let them folks see me doing that. I can't let my kids see me saying that or doing that to that girl. I can't have the truth come all the way out and then the federal government say, well, damn, she got the evidence. We ain't got to do nothing but just go get the evidence from her. Because you can believe the federal government, man, these folks is out here, they is going hard. They going hard on any motherfucker that rape somebody or they feel like trafficking, man. Them folks ain't playing, man. Them folks don't give a fuck if it's been 20, 30 years ago. Them folks is out here and they going at these sick motherfuckers as they should. You know what I mean? They going at these sick motherfuckers, man. And motherfuckers be like, well, they targeting the black man. They not targeting the black man. They targeting individuals that don't rape people, man. They targeting people that hurt people, and they did it in the name of I got money and you don't, and I'm gonna do what I want to type shit, man. That's the thing about it, man. You know, you can't. And you know, I know we all grew up and we all was taught that it's gold diggers and motherfuckers this and that, this and that. But sometimes a motherfucker gets set up in traps, and sometimes people don't even be trying to trap a motherfucker, and they end up trapping themselves. They do. They end up trapping themselves, man. You feel me?